So today we're going to have a little bit of play with the side body, and the side body really allows you, when we open places in there, to create more space for the organs, the lungs, so that it can create more of that three-bodiedness in your body. Sometimes we live in this very dimensional, flat world, so it's nice to go into that side body, some kind of twists as well, to really open up some of those places and just bring more energy into the body. Hope you enjoy, and let's begin. So a nice way to start, we'll come up with the knees bent, and then we won't stay as long. If you have something to put under your knees, like a block or a pillow, you can bring the legs over here and just see if you can feel creating length in that sit bone. Just stay here for a few breaths, opening up to this whole left side lung. And of course, after a few breaths, you can bend the knees a little bit higher. And then it also goes into that armpit area, so we're stretching through the opposite armpit area. And then inhale the knees up and bring them to the other side. And it's pretty easy to do this pose, any time of the day, and especially if you've been sitting for long periods. This is a great pose to do later in the day, because not only are you really opening this side of the lung, you are getting some stretch into the lower spine. And depending on how much you sit during the day, are you actually sitting on top of your sit bones? Are you leaning forward? Are you in flexion most of the time? So it's always good to find ways to take little breaks where you move the body, or do counter poses, as we might say in yoga, which is going the other way. So then bring the knees in and bring the feet down, and the hands can either stay low or under the head, or you can bring them overhead if you want more action. And we'll bend the knees in and really stretch through those heels so the legs are like 90 degrees. Now, if you can't do 90, you can bring them a little bit lower, but you don't want to bring them close to the face now, because we're really working into 90 degrees or a little bit less. So bend the knees, press through the heels, inhale, exhale. And then we're going to add a little variation here. On the next inhale, bring the knees towards the chest, then bring them over to the right side, extend into the side body, then come back into the center and bring them up, bring them back to the floor, then inhale, bend them over to the side body. Try to extend together if you can. You can keep it quite high, or you can bring it down lower. And then inhale, come back to the center, feet on the floor. And it's nice to have your hands under your head for this one, but you can also keep the hands down, or you can bring them out to the side. So inhale the legs, extend up. Inhale towards the chest, exhale down, then inhale, bringing the knees towards the right, extend, working back into the left side abdominal, bend the knees, come into the center, exhale to the other side, extend, then bend the knees again, come back to the center, inhale, and up, inhale, down. Couple more just straight leg ones. And then for a little bit of play, see if you can bend the knees, bring them over to one side, circle them around, then bring them down, and then bring them up, circling them around, bring them down, circling around and across, lower down, circle back up, lower down, circle up, back through the center. Yeah, I'm not being very clear with this. So here with the knees in the center, drop them lower, then you circle them up towards the elbow, then bring them across, then drop them to the left side, and circle up, and then this time drop them up and then circle down, and then bring them up, drop them across, circle down, and bring it up, and then just do a couple of more straight legs. And then the last one, you can slowly exhale down. You want to hover, you can bring them down. And slowly bend the legs up again. And then just press into the heels and shake out those hips. And roll to your side. And if you have something to sit on, you could sit on a block either in Virasana or Virasana, which is Thunderbolt pose. So Thunderbolt pose would be sitting with the block like that, and you can press your heels in there. So that's more about sitting on your heels. Virasana, which is hero pose, is more having the heels on the outer edges. So for simple sake, I'm just going to sit in Virasana, and then we're going to interlock the fingers here, press them forward. I really like this pose because it really stretches the arms out, and then you slowly bring them up. Now you may have to keep them a little more forward. It depends on your shoulders. And then just press into the sit bones so you're not lifting from the pelvis. You're really stretching into the side body. And then slightly twist and lift the head up to the ceiling. Very subtle. And come back to the side stretch. And inhale up. And then inhale to the other side. And then just a tiny little lift the head up. Come back to the center. And inhale. And release the hands. And then you'll cross over the other finger. Hopefully you know which finger was on top. Sometimes you have to just cross them over and cross them over the other way and see which one your body remembers which one you just did. And then press them forward and slowly bring them up. And this time, instead of going to the side, we're just going to do a little twist off to the right. Come back through the center. And then twist up. Back to the center. Then release the arms. Because we're here right now, come up in onto your knees. And of course, if you need softness, put a blanket under your legs. You can also fold up your mat if you need more softness under your knees. Some people are just going to have more bony knees, so don't suffer, but you might, just challenge yourself. See if you can be there and really press through the shins. Some people need to roll things under their ankles here. We're going to do Parigasana gate pose. So I'm going to bring my left leg out, but you can mirror image me if you'd like. So it is my left leg. Now if you need to flex the foot because that's more comfortable, or if you have hyperextended knees, you place the block under your calf muscle. So that really helps keep the leg in good alignment. And you've got your hands on your hips. You can inhale the arms up to your shoulder height, exhale there, then flip the hands up so that you can drop one hand down, and then the top arm can come up and over like Parsvakonasana. Mr. Iyengar used to go really deep in this pose if you look at pictures of him. And then inhale, slowly come up, exhale the arms down. Bring that knee back in. And then bring the opposite foot out. Now I've got my right foot out, but you could be mirror image, so you could be on your left foot. And you're really trying to keep that pelvis, sit bones underneath you here. And most of us are not ballet dancers with 180-degree turnout, so we need to bring it a little bit forward. So, and then again, if you've got the hyperextended knees, you put the block under your calf muscle, and that really supports you there. And then inhale those arms up, exhale there. Inhale the palms up, drop the leg, right hand or the left hand to the leg, same arm as leg. And then the top arm is like Parsvakonasana. And then inhale, exhale the arms down, and come into your mat on all fours, and just tuck your toes under and go into a downward facing dog. See if you can really lift the thighs, lift the abdominals, and see if you can feel all the length from your side body into your armpits. And then you can slowly walk the feet towards the hands. You can shake the head and neck here. And depending on your hamstrings, you can either straighten the hamstrings for a long stretch here, or you can keep them bent and just really shake out the head and the neck. And if you're okay in the hamstrings, you can fold the elbows and then inhale, slowly come up, and then release the arms down. And if you happen to have a block or two, you can put them on the edges of your mat. If you don't worry about it, because I'll give you options in this pose. So We're going to, I know I'm always adjusting my mat. Trying not to be crooked, but anyway, standing in Tadasana. We'll just inhale those arms up, feel that length. Can you feel that length in the side body? And then just fold the elbows down, especially if you're okay with jumping. And then you just bend at the legs and jump wide. And we'll go into Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. So I'll do mirror image here. So take the left foot toe to heel and right foot heel to toe. So you're really pressing that outer foot, really bringing the inner thigh around, and then you really press into those feet, lengthen both sides as long as you can, and then finding the hand on the shin or thigh, or even block. If you had a block, you could bring that there. And then it's just a little bit of a twist. Really bring those abdominals, those belly button towards the spine, and then you twist from the base. Slowly look at the top hand if you're okay, and the head and the neck. And then inhale, slowly come up. Bring the feet parallel. Go to the other side, so you take that left foot toe to heel. Really lengthening through that leg. Right foot heel to toe. And then coming down, reaching. Again, you can have your block there. You can have the hand on the thigh, but see if you can find that length through your side body. Bottom arm goes down, top arm comes up. And then really bring that belly button back to the spine, get that twisting going at the base. And then the top arm can look up. And then slowly imagine somebody's really pulling your wrist up, and that brings you up. Feet are wide again. And then you can slowly bring them together, or you can bend the knees and jump back into Tadasana. A couple of breaths there. And then inhale those arms overhead. And then just bend at the elbows here. And then bend the knees, jumping wide. Now this time we're going to go into triangle twist. So again, it's that left foot toe to heel, right foot heel to toe. And this time, swivel those arms to your side. If you need to turn the back toes in even more, if this hip is coming, you're wanting to bring that hip forward, that outer hip forward. Now, without the props, you can just slowly bring the hand down to the shin. You can bring your other hand to your sacrum. Or if you have the block, it can go on the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. And if you're okay in the shoulders, you can then bring the top arm up. And inhale, slowly come up. It occurred to me that I should turn around and do it looking at the camera. We'll see. Anyway, so now come the other way. So pivot the right foot behind you. And the arms are out to the side. And you're going to come around, and first you can just bring the hand onto the shin or just even on the thigh. That would be adequate, and that just gives yourself a chance to focus on bringing the hips around. And then you can start getting that twist or using the block inside or outside. Hand can stay on the sacrum, or the top arm can come up. come up back around. Feet are parallel, and then you can inch them closer, or you can jump back in to Tadasana. And a couple of breaths there. And then we'll inhale the arms overhead. Then bend at the elbows here, bringing the hands in front of the chest. And you can bend and jump or step wide. And then toe to heel on the left foot, right foot heel to toe. This time you're going to bend deeply. Put the forearm on the thigh. Come into Parsvakonasana. This is where you can feel that whole side stretch from the outer foot to the fingertips. If you had the block, you can put the block behind and put the hand down. Maybe get a little lower. You really have to be solid in those legs. And then inhale, slowly come up. Bring the feet parallel. And coming to the other side. And bending that leg. Forearm on the thigh. Top arm up, or you can have the block behind you. Side angle lateral pose, it translates to. And inhale, slowly come up. Bring the feet parallel. You can inch them a little bit closer and jump back in to Tadasana. Couple of breaths there. And I'm looking at my feet going, oh, you are losing your balance. And then again, inhale the arms overhead, bend at the elbows, then jumping way wide. So you're gonna, again, take that left foot toe to heel, right foot heel to toe. And this time you're gonna pivot the arms around as you bend that front leg. Now if you have trouble with the back leg, you can always pivot the toes up with the heel up so that you can access that hip. And then you can either place the hand down, or if you've got the block, you can bring the hand to the block and the top arm can come up and over into an extended Parsvakonasana twist. Or you can just put the elbow here and stay there. And then inhale. Slowly come up. Feet parallel. It's preheating some of these poses. And then coming around to the other side. As you bring the arms around, you can pivot that back foot up, or you can leave it there. Come down, bring the opposite arm. If you've got the block, you can put the hand on the block. And then the arm can come up and over. Or just stay on the sacrum. Inhale, slowly come up, a little bit of tasters. Then you can inch the feet in and step or jump back into Tadasana. So that should give you a nice warm up experience in moving some energy into that whole side body. Then I'll move the mat a little closer, and then we'll do that simple twist first, where we come around the block and we have to remember now. Let's see. How does it go? Yep, that's right. So 1 foot. So we use the block so that if I sat on the floor, I would lose, this hip would come up. But if I have the block here, you can use a pillow, you can roll a towel there, a blanket. Then the hips are even. And then you take the right hand to that left knee, and you can put the hand on the block to give yourself a little bit more leverage in the twist. And then slowly come back around. Come forward and just bring the legs to the other side of the block, where one leg is in Virasana, the outer leg's in Virasana. This foot makes a little pocket for that foot. The block is just on the edge of your sit bone to help even out those hips. And it's something you can sit in and get used to. I'm also getting a nice massage in my instep. Now, some of you may find this painful and you may need to put a washcloth or something in there. And then you bring the left hand to the right knee. And I can put my other hand on the block and get a good stretch through the shoulder here. And then I'll turn around and face you. And if you're okay in sitting in easy cross legs, you can. If you need height, you just put something under the sit bones, and then the legs are down. So whichever works for you. And if I have the block behind me, again, I have a place to put my hand for the twist. So I'm taking the left hand to the right knee and coming into a twist here. But I can also drive that back hand into the floor, or I can bring it around to the outer thigh there. And then inhale, come back through the center. And then take the opposite hand to the opposite knee. So in my case, this is my right hand to my left knee. And then you can take the opposite hand down and really, really press into the floor, get into the twist, or you can take that hand around to the outer thigh. And doing it from this position makes sometimes the arm part more accessible than in the deeper twists where you're really, getting things underneath things. So then extend the legs long into Dandasana just to release the cross leg, and then bring the other leg on top. And we'll do it same pose in the opposite easy cross leg. So now I'm bringing my right hand to my left knee. I'm starting on that side. And then my other hand can either go behind, give you that twist there, or it can come to my outer thigh there. And come around the center. And then my opposite hand, so this is my left hand to my right knee, coming around. And I can come and grab that outer thigh here. center. And just take a minute and just notice, just close your eyes a minute and notice how you're breathing, what it's feeling like in that side body, the side hips, side waist, side rib cage. And there may be nothing, but it's just always good to, it's like taking your temperature, just taking a notice into what happens in your body when you practice, what you might find helpful. So mostly in yoga poses, we're just trying to find more space in the body. So now you can either do feet up the wall, feet on the chair. You could even do, I think we did this on Tuesday, you could even do, a supported bridge. Oh no, I did this in my other class. Or you could do supported bridge with the feet up in like a shoulder stand variation. You can even grasp the hands down here to support the shoulders. So you can do that for a few breaths if that works for you. Or you could keep the feet down into bridge, supported bridge pose. Or you could go straight into feet up the wall. So this pose feels very nice, and I feel spacious through the side body too. Then you can prepare yourself for some kind of shavasana. So if you're still doing supported bridge or the shoulder stand variation with the block under your sacrum, you can stay there for a few more breaths. If you're in feet up the wall, you want to just let your body settle there. So I'll give you one more minute in here, and then you want to make that transition to whatever shavasana feels right for you today. It can be feet up the wall. It can be traditional shavasana. So if you're transitioning into shavasana, you can make that transition. And as you settle into your choice for this shavasana, begin to notice the breath near the side hips or in the thigh sockets. Can you feel the breath moving in that area? What about the side waist? Can you feel the breath moving that side waist area? And noticing the rib cage. feel the breath really moving in that side rib cage area. And what about the armpits? Can you feel the breath moving into the armpits and softening there? And softening your collarbone notches. Your throat softens, back of the neck softens, base of the head softens, your scalp is softening, your forehead widens and softens. Temples soften, space between the eyebrows widens and softens. Your eyeballs rest into the eye socket. Your cheeks are softening. Your jaw softens. And your chin is softening. And your tongue is resting into the lower palate. Slowly begin to find a little movement into your fingers, into your toes, perhaps stretching through the whole body so that you can easily roll to your right side. And then you can slowly come up to sitting. And remember that your breath is always with you, and you can tune into it any moment of the day and take a restful breath at any time. Thanks for being here, and namaste.